Discovery and First Contact. The Kepler 438 system had never been a priority destination until the quantum telescopes detected unusual energy signatures emanating from its fourth planet. Now, as the research vessel Hephaestus entered orbit around Kepler 438, Commander Elena Reyes felt a mixture of anticipation and apprehension coursing through her veins. "Energy readings are holding steady, Commander," reported Science Officer Kai Zhang, his eyes fixed on the holographic display. "Whatever's down there has been active for at least 3 centuries, possibly much longer." Elena studied the real-time surface scan of the planet below. Kepler 438 was a rocky world with a thin atmosphere, its surface a mosaic of rust-colored plains and jagged mountain ranges. The anomalous energy signature originated from within a vast canyon that stretched across the northern hemisphere like an ancient wound. "Any signs of current civilization?" Elena asked. "Negative," replied communications specialist Amara Okafor. "No transmissions, no artificial satellites, no indication of an industrial society. But those energy readings are definitely not natural." Elena made her decision. "Prepare the landing shuttle. I want a team on the ground within the hour." The shuttle descended through swirling dust clouds, buffeted by fierce winds that tested the pilot's skills. Aboard were Elena, Kai, Amara, Security Chief Marcus Valero, and engineering specialist Jun Park. As they approached the canyon floor, Jun pointed at something through the viewport. There, at the base of the eastern wall, the shuttle's searchlights illuminated what appeared to be a massive doorway embedded in the canyon wall, its surface inscribed with intricate geometric patterns that seemed to pulse with a faint blue luminescence. "It's at least 30 meters tall," Kai whispered, awe evident in his voice. "And those markings, they're not random. That's a language." They landed 50 meters from the structure. After confirming the atmosphere was breathable with supplemental oxygen, the team disembarked, their environmental suits protecting them from the planet's cold, thin air. As they approached the doorway, the inscriptions began to glow more intensely, pulsating in rhythmic patterns. "It's responding to our presence," Amara said, recording the phenomenon with her wrist scanner, "almost as if it's scanning us." Marcus kept his hand near his sidearm. "I don't like this. It could be a defense system." Before anyone could respond, a seam appeared down the center of the doorway. With a low rumble that they felt through their boots, the massive doors began to part, revealing the darkened passage beyond. "Should we proceed?" Jun asked, looking to Elena for guidance. Elena hesitated only briefly. "We came all this way to make first contact. Let's not waste the opportunity." The passage beyond the doorway descended at a gentle angle, illuminated by strips of blue light that activated as they approached and faded once they passed. The walls were made of a material that resembled polished obsidian, but was warm to the touch and seemed to absorb sound, creating an eerie silence broken only by their footsteps and breathing. After walking for nearly a kilometer, they emerged into a vast chamber that took their breath away. The ceiling soared hundreds of meters above them, supported by columns that resembled twisted DNA helices. The floor was a mosaic of what appeared to be star charts, depicting constellations both familiar and alien. At the center of the chamber stood a raised dais with a crystalline structure resembling a throne. "This architecture," Kai murmured, "it's unlike anything in our archaeological database. No known civilization, human or otherwise, built like this." Jun approached one of the walls, which was covered in more of the glowing inscriptions. "These symbols share some similarities with the quantum equations we've been developing. I think they might be instructions." "Instructions for what?" Marcus asked, tension evident in his voice. Before Jun could answer, Amara stumbled against the dais, her hand brushing against the crystalline throne. Immediately, the entire chamber hummed to life. The star charts on the floor began to glow brightly, and a beam of light shot upward from the throne, coalescing into a holographic figure that hovered above them. The hologram depicted a being that was vaguely humanoid but clearly alien. Tall and slender with 4 arms, skin that appeared to be composed of shifting patterns of light, and a head with no visible eyes but multiple sensory organs arranged in a crown-like formation. When it spoke, they heard nothing with their ears. Instead, the words formed directly in their minds, bypassing language barriers. After 60,000 rotations, life returns to the Nexus. You are not Voidwalkers. You are something new. Elena stepped forward. We are humans, from the planet Earth. We come in peace, seeking knowledge and friendship. The holographic figure tilted its head in what might have been curiosity. Humans, yes. The genetic markers are present. You were among our most promising seedlings. The team exchanged confused glances. What do you mean, seedlings? Kai asked. The Voidwalkers seeded many worlds with life, nurturing potential successors before the Great Extinction. Your species was modified, enhanced, given the capacity to one day understand what we built. You're saying your species, the Voidwalkers, manipulated human evolution? Elena asked, struggling to process the implications. Not manipulation. Guidance. Potential recognized and nurtured. The final outcome was always uncertain. Jun moved closer to the hologram. What happened to your people? You mentioned extinction. The chamber darkened, and the hologram expanded to show images of vast cities, advanced technology, and finally, a spreading darkness that consumed everything. The void came, a cosmic force beyond our understanding. We could not stop it, only delay. Our physical forms perished 12 million of your years ago. What remains is knowledge, preserved here and in other nexus points across the galaxy, waiting for worthy inheritors. Marcus stepped forward. And you think that's us? Humans. Unknown. You have found this place. That is step 1. But to access the legacy of the Voidwalkers, you must prove worthiness through the trials. What trials? Elena asked. The hologram gestured, and the floor beneath them transformed, revealing a complex mechanism that hummed with power. The Nexus will test your species' capacity for innovation, compassion, logic, and adaptability. These are the 4 pillars upon which cosmic citizenship stands. Before anyone could respond, 4 pedestals rose from the floor, each emitting a different colored light. Red, blue, green, and gold. Each pillar requires a different aspect of consciousness. Choose your trials wisely. Failure means departure without knowledge. Success means access to technologies your kind cannot yet imagine. The hologram began to fade. I am Guardian, the caretaker of this nexus. I will observe your trials. Begin when ready. As Guardian disappeared, the team gathered in a tight circle. This is incredible, Kai whispered. An ancient alien species that might have influenced human evolution, offering us their legacy. Or it's a trap, Marcus countered. For all we know, these trials could kill us. Amara was studying her scanner. These energy readings are like nothing I've ever seen. The power source for this facility must be extraordinary, possibly something that could revolutionize human energy production. Jun nodded excitedly. And the quantum computational principles suggested by those wall inscriptions. They're centuries beyond our current theories. Elena considered their options. We need to report this to Earth before proceeding further. Communications are blocked, Amara said, checking her equipment. Something in this structure is preventing any signals from reaching the surface. So we're on our own, Elena concluded. She looked at the 4 glowing pedestals. These trials, they're testing whether humanity deserves access to Voidwalker knowledge. And if we fail? Marcus asked. Then we leave empty-handed, Elena replied. But if we succeed? She left the sentence unfinished, the possibilities too vast to articulate. After a moment of contemplation, Elena made her decision. We'll proceed with the trials. But carefully. We do this together. As they approached the pedestals, Guardian's voice returned to their minds. Choose. Each trial must be faced by one individual whose qualities align with the pillar. Choose wrongly, and failure is assured. The team studied the pedestals. The red pillar radiated a pulsing warmth that reminded Elena of a heartbeat. The blue pillar emitted a cool, steady light that seemed to bend and refract like water. The green pillar's light moved in complex, interwoven patterns. The gold pillar shone with an unwavering brilliance. "I think I understand," Kai said. "Red for compassion, blue for adaptability, green for innovation, and gold for logic." "So who takes which trial?" Jun asked. Elena assessed her team. "Amara has always been our most empathetic member. She should take the compassion trial. Kai's analytical mind makes him perfect for logic. Jun is our most creative thinker for innovation. And Marcus?" "I adapt to survive," Marcus said simply. "It's what security training is all about." They each approached their designated pedestals. As they placed their hands on the glowing surfaces, the chamber transformed around them. Walls rose from the floor, separating them into individual testing areas. The trials had begun. Trials and legacy. Amara found herself in a circular room filled with holographic projections of various alien species, some vaguely humanoid, others completely bizarre in form. Each projection emanated emotional states that she could somehow feel: fear, pain, joy, hope, despair. "The compassion trial begins," Guardian's voice explained. "Before you are representations of the 17 sentient species the Voidwalkers encountered. Some survived the Great Extinction. Others did not. Your task is to identify which ones should have been saved if only 5 could be preserved." Amara's heart sank. "That's impossible. How can anyone judge which lives are more valuable?" "That is the trial," Guardian replied simply. In his chamber, Kai faced a three-dimensional puzzle composed of shifting geometric shapes that rearranged themselves according to some complex mathematical principle. "The logic trial requires you to predict the next 5 configurations in this sequence," Guardian explained. "The pattern reflects the fundamental laws that govern reality across all dimensions." Kai studied the shifting forms, his mind racing to identify variables and constants in the seemingly chaotic movements. Jun's innovation chamber contained what appeared to be broken pieces of technology, components that didn't seem designed to fit together. "Create something new from what was broken," Guardian instructed. "Something the Voidwalkers never conceived." Marcus found himself in a simulated environment that constantly changed, from scorching desert to freezing tundra, from underwater depths to low-gravity conditions, each shift requiring immediate adjustments to survive. "Adapt or fail," was Guardian's only instruction. Hours passed as each team member struggled with their trial. In the compassion chamber, Amara finally realized the true nature of her test. "I refuse to choose," she announced firmly. "Every sentient life has value. The truly compassionate choice would be to find a way to save them all, or to let natural selection take its course without interference." The holographic aliens disappeared, replaced by a single glowing symbol that Amara somehow understood meant acceptance. Kai, after numerous failed attempts, discovered that the geometric puzzle wasn't based on mathematics as humans understood it, but on relationships between objects, a kind of logic that transcended equations. "It's not about predicting the exact forms," he realized aloud. "It's about understanding the principles that govern change itself." When he demonstrated this understanding by rearranging the components himself, rather than merely predicting their movement, his trial, too, registered completion. Jun struggled until she stopped trying to reassemble the broken technology into its original form. Instead, she created something entirely new, a device that utilized the components in ways they were never intended, generating a small but stable quantum field. "Innovation is not recreation," she said as her device hummed to life. "It's transformation." Her trial marked as complete. Marcus faced the greatest physical challenges, his body pushed to the limits of human endurance. But rather than fighting against each environment, he learned to become part of it, using the desert's heat to his advantage. Finding insulation in the snow, using water pressure to amplify his movements. Adaptation isn't about resistance, he gasped as the environment stabilized. It's about harmony. His trial concluded successfully. When the chamber walls receded, the four humans found themselves back together, exhausted but triumphant. Guardian's hologram appeared before them, now more clearly defined, almost solid in appearance. All trials completed. Assessment. Conditional success. Elena stepped forward. Conditional. We passed your tests. Yes, but passage demonstrates only potential, not certainty. The true trial continues. What will humanity do with the knowledge of the Voidwalkers? The chamber floor opened, revealing a spiraling staircase that descended into depths illuminated by shifting colors of light. Below lies the archive, the complete technological and cultural legacy of the Voidwalker civilization. 10 million years of discovery, innovation, and wisdom. The team exchanged glances of amazement and trepidation. Before you descend, Guardian continued, you must understand the truth of your origin. The chamber filled with holographic DNA strands that Elena recognized as human genetic code, but with certain sequences highlighted. The Voidwalkers encountered your ancestors 2 million years ago. They recognized unique potential, a cognitive architecture unlike any other species they had discovered. Humans possessed extraordinary pattern recognition, abstract thinking, and creative problem-solving. The DNA strands rotated, showing modifications and enhancements. Subtle adjustments were made, not to direct your evolution, but to remove barriers that might have prevented your natural development. The Voidwalkers saw in humans the capacity to think in ways they could not, to make intuitive leaps beyond logical progression. Why? Elena asked. Why invest in our species? The Voidwalkers faced challenges they could not overcome with their mode of consciousness. They hypothesized that different cognitive architectures might succeed where they had failed. Humanity was one of several experiments. And the others? Kai inquired. Some failed. Some may yet succeed. Some may find other nexus points and face their own trials. The galaxy is vast. Marcus frowned. So we're just an experiment. Lab rats for your extinct masters. No, you are their hope. The Voidwalkers did not seek servants or duplicates. They sought successors who might surpass them. Guardian gestured toward the staircase. The archive contains technologies that could transform human civilization overnight. Unlimited clean energy, instantaneous transportation, cellular regeneration, planetary climate control, and much more. It also contains the complete history of the Voidwalkers, including their failures and the coming of the Void. Elena stepped toward the staircase, then hesitated. What is this void you keep mentioning? Guardian's form darkened. A cosmic force that consumes all organized matter and energy. It moves slowly through the universe, but inexorably. The Voidwalkers delayed its advance, but could not stop it. Perhaps humans, with your different way of thinking, might find a solution they could not. How long do we have? Jun asked quietly. At its current rate of expansion, the Void will reach your solar system in approximately 12,000 years. The team fell silent, processing the implications. So that's our real trial, Elena finally said. Not these tests, but what comes after. Whether humanity can succeed where the Voidwalkers failed, stopping this void. Yes, that is the ultimate trial, shared by all life in this galaxy. Elena turned to her team. We need to discuss this. The implications for Earth, for humanity. This changes everything. They huddled together, speaking in hushed tones about responsibility, potential misuse of the technology, the burden of knowledge, and humanity's readiness for such advancement. After intense debate, Elena approached Guardian again. We've made our decision. We will accept access to the archive, but with conditions of our own. Guardian tilted its head. Explain. We won't take everything at once. We'll establish. Your people learn quickly, Guardian observed. Faster than the Voidwalkers anticipated. Elena nodded. We've always been good at adapting. The first energy conversion prototypes are already being tested on Earth. Clean power for everyone, just as we promised. And the quantum communication network, operational last week. Every nation, equal access. It hasn't been easy. There's fear, resistance, political maneuvering. But we're making progress. Guardian's form shifted, displaying star charts. We have located signals from 3 other successor species. When you are ready, contact can be established. Elena smiled. A galactic community, working together to solve the ultimate problem. The void is still coming. Yes, but now we know about it. We have time, knowledge, and something the Voidwalkers may have lacked. What is that? Elena watched as the shuttle landed, carrying the next group of humanity's brightest minds. Diversity of thought. The Voidwalkers were one species with one way of approaching problems. Now there will be many of us, each with different perspectives, different ways of thinking. She turned to face the vast canyon where the Nexus lay hidden for millions of years. They planted seeds across the galaxy, hoping something would grow that could finish what they started. I think we're going to prove them right. Guardian's form seemed to stand taller. The Voidwalkers would be proud. As the sun set on this distant world, casting long shadows across the ancient ground, humanity took its first steps into a legacy both inherited and earned, becoming not just the children of Earth, but the heirs to stars beyond counting and responsibilities faster still. The trials were past, but the true test was just beginning.